Hello. 6.6, equations. The whole thing's equations, right? Equations involving rational expressions. So this is the easy stuff. Everybody can do this. X plus 3 equals 7, subtract 3, x equals 4. A little bit harder. 2x plus 6 equals 7, 2x equals 7 minus 6, 2x equals 1, x equals 1/2. But yes, there's a hardest one. Let's go to the next page. How do we do this? Well, what we want to remember is a thing, I'm not going to say, I was going to say fraction busters, but I don't want to get into that. Some of you remember it, some of you won't. What we're going to do is we're going to multiply by something that will eliminate the fractions. So when I multiply x over 2 times 6, I end up with 3x. This times 6 is negative 18. And this times 6, 3 cancels out, leaving 4. 3x equals 4 plus 18. 3x equals 22. X equals 22 thirds. So that's a little bit harder. But yet there is more. Gets a little more complicated, doesn't it? But you all can do this because I know it. I know I've taught you so many. Okay, I've tried to. Yeah, some of you get it, some of you won't. So again, we're looking for the denominator. We're looking for a common denominator so we don't have to really deal with these fraction stuffs anymore. Raise your hand if you like fractions. Okay, anyway, so how do we get rid of that fraction stuff? But remember, there are no fractions once you get to Algebra 2. They're called what? Rational numbers. So we don't want to deal with the rational numbers. We want to just get rid of them. So what is the common denominator? Well, 3 does not go into x minus 2, and that is x minus 2. So the common denominator is 3 times x minus 2. So I'm going to multiply each of the terms of this equation by that. When I multiply this, the x minus 2 cancels out. When I multiply this, the 3 cancels out. And when I multiply this by that, the x minus 2 again cancels out. So I end up with 3x plus 2x minus 4 equals 6. 5x, combining like terms, add 4 to both sides. 5x equals 10, x equals 2. So it's really not that hard, is it? I said it's not. Okay, never mind. Can't threaten you. You're too far away. Look, there's time for one more. Let's try this one. Y minus 4 over y squared minus 5y equals 2 over y squared minus 25. Well, how in the world do we do this? Well, there's something that you need to remember, and that is proportionality. I'm just going to write proportion. How do we know we have a proportion? Because cross products are equal. 1/2 equals 2/4 because 1 times 4 equals 2 times 4. We can use that property to solve this. So we'll end up with y minus 4 times y squared minus 25 equals 2 times y squared minus 5y. Basically what we're doing is we're using the same concept of multiplying through by a common denominator. We're just doing it in a slightly different way. So this becomes y minus 4. Remember to factor, factor, factor. Y plus 5, y minus 5 equals 2 times y minus 5. You see anything we can do here? We can divide both sides by y minus 5. And when we do that, what happens? These are gone. And so that leaves us with this, which is now y squared plus y minus 20 minus 2y equals 0. So now we combine like terms. Y squared minus y minus 20 equals 0. Is this factorable? What do we need to do to find out if it's factorable? Look for factors of 20 that have a difference of 1. 5 and 4, sounds good to me. Y and a Y and a 5 and a 4. It's a negative here, so one's negative, one's positive. The larger one should be negative, that's the negative 5, positive 4. So either Y equals 4, I'm sorry, negative 4, let's make it look even more obvious, or Y equals 5. But how do we know for sure if these are the answers for this particular thing? Well, first it's a quadratic, so we could suspect that it might work. But what we do is we go back to the original. When we go back to the original, you're going to discover something. What were our two answers? Anybody remember? 5 and negative 4. So 5 and negative 4. And when we do, when we put those in, we end up right here with 5 squared. 25 minus 25 is 0. Can't have a 0 in the denominator. Throw out the 5. Is it going to work? I don't know. We could still check it, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. Here, same thing. 5 squared minus 5 times 5. So that's 25 minus 25 again. So we, again, got 0 in the denominator. Let's try the 4 instead. We're going to have 16 minus 20. And here we're going to have 16 minus 25. Up here we're going to have a negative 4 minus 4, and that's a 2. So what does that leave us? It leaves us a negative 8 over negative 4 equals 2 over negative 9. That doesn't check either. So there is no solution to this problem, even though we did all the work and came up with that answer. So neither of them check. That's chapter 6, section 6. We're done with chapter 6. Go home and get some rest.
And study.